Hey everyone, welcome to my new YouTube channel. This is my first time creating content, long form content, and I hope you guys like it. I decided to focus my niche on Christian content, and so here we go. Here I am, recording on my phone and recording on a ring light. Eventually, I will start getting some better equipment to record my videos, but right now, this is all that I have. So I wanted to start this first video out with my testimony and how I found God. So my name's Derek. I was born in Greenwood, Mississippi, and raised in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I loved New Mexico. It was a pretty beautiful place. Um, the terrain was a desert terrain, and it got hot a lot of the times, but I loved it. I now live in Missouri, where I get a little bit different weather, which is, a lot of rain, and winter times can kind of somewhat get harsh for me, maybe for not others, but anyway, besides all of that, so I want to start this out with my testimony. My testimony is everything to me because it always reminds me on where I was at and how I found God. So when I got older, it was, I believe it was in 11th grade that I met my friend CJ. Well, actually, before that, I met him. I think I was like a freshman when I met him, and we were best friends, and we did everything together. And his mom liked me, my parents liked him, and so we became best friends. And so I was always focused on school, very school oriented, and I was serious about doing what I need to do to graduate. Well, when I got into 11th grade, I only had a couple more classes to take. So I was pretty laid back when I got into 11th grade. Um, I really didn't start, for some reason, I just kind of started to not care about school because I knew that I was on my way on graduating. I only had a couple of classes. And then, like, senior year, I had I think, like, two classes for senior year. And so my best friend CJ, he ended up meeting somebody, and I guess they tempted him to smoke weed. And so he started getting into that, and me being his best friend and all, I wanted to do what he was doing. Friends usually copy each other. So I started smoking weed. I liked it and I loved it. And it got to the point where it was like I couldn't even function without weed. So, anyway, skip forward in time, 12th grade, I was still doing the same thing. Got into weed, girls, sex, and different types of drugs, pills, and all of that. And after I graduated 12th grade, um, me and my friend decided to. Well, he actually wanted to go to Houston, Texas, to go join. He wanted to become a mechanic. So he wanted to go join this school where it teaches you how to work on cars and stuff. And me not knowing what I wanted to do, of course, I went ahead and just followed him. So we ended up moving to Houston, Texas. It was a pretty cool place. I didn't have a problem finding a job. I worked at a lot of, to me, it wasn't a lot of important jobs. It was kind of like, jobs for younger kids, being a golf cart assistant, working in the golf, working at the golf club, and also working at a couple of fast food places and stuff like that. Well, we ended up kind of splitting up the longer we stayed in Houston. we always had this thing, we'd get into arguments where his friends would come over and I wouldn't really care about his friends being over and they'd kind of get on my nerves. And the same thing with my friends too. So we kind of started going our separate way. And I think it was because, we were just kind of getting older and stuff, so we kind of just grew out of being best friends with each other. So we decided to go ahead and go our separate ways. Well, before I went my separate way, I had met my ex, currently my ex, named Leslie. And so when I moved out, me and my girlfriend Leslie, we ended up getting a place together. And I stayed together with her for about 9 years, something like that. And it got really, really bad pretty quick in the last years leading to me leaving her. Um, and a lot of people want to talk about when they leave somebody, they want to put the blame on like who they were with. They want to make it seem like it's their fault. Well, I'm here to say that it wasn't just my ex's fault. It was my fault too. I was into a lot of drugs. I was doing pills. I was still smoking weed. I ain't gonna lie. I tried meth. I tried cocaine. I did just. I was crazy. I did a lot of different drugs. And I think that was also part of the reason why I kind of looked at things different, and also she was smoking weed too. She was into drugs too, just not as much as me. Really, she would just pop pills and smoke weed, and so drugs did not help our relationship. It played a big part in destroying our relationship. So anyway, we ended up finally breaking it up. But yeah, I mean, we kind of did a on and off breakup where it's like, oh, I'd be like, oh, I'm breaking up, I'm leaving or whatever, and then sure enough, a couple days down the road, I'm coming back. Okay, and when I left, I was sleeping in my car. Didn't have no other place to go. I kind of let her just stay in the place. So anyway, before we broke up, we ended up having a kid. I ended up getting a stillborn, and that made things way worse. And that really played with her mind and played with my mind, and we kind of just pushed our emotions onto each other because of losing the kid. And but a year down the road, because I asked God, like why did we lose the kid? And what was the reason because of that? And I heard a voice saying, don't worry, try again. You will make another kid. So we tried again and we made another kid. My kid is doing good. Her name's Aubrey. She's 14. And that's kind of our miracle child because it was weird because it was like the year after uh we had that stillborn. It was like literally a year after we ended up having her. Um but the relationship was really, really on the rocks. Things were rough. We weren't seeing eye to eye, me and my ex or nothing. So I ended up deciding to finally walk out for good. So I walked out. And I felt like God was telling me too to move on. This relationship is not going to work. So I went ahead and moved on and didn't have no place to go again. I ended up staying in my car. Stayed in my car for probably about a month, saved up, got an apartment. Got the apartment, stayed there for it was like 6 months, didn't even stay there a year. I couldn't afford it no more. So my only choice was to go back in my car and go ahead and live in my car. So I lived in my car. I lived in my car for 2 years. Um, I lost friends too. What I realized is that some of the friends were using me for drugs and stuff like that. And when I didn't have them, I would never hear anybody calling me or texting me or nothing like that. Never heard anything from my so-called friends. So, I got really lonely. It got really dark real quick. Um, I found myself by myself, didn't really have nobody to talk to. Um, I ended up crying out to God. And so when I cried out to him, he answered. And he said that, that I have a plan for you and you need to go move with your parents, get back on your feet, and go get your CDL. So I did just that. I followed God and I did exactly what he wanted me to do. I went and moved back with my parents and ended up getting a CDL. It took a little minute, about 2, 3 years, and got my CDL. Had got off drugs and everything because you can't be on drugs, trying to get your CDL. If y'all don't know what a CDL is, it's a commercial driver license to drive, big trucks that weigh like 80,000 pounds. So anyway, um, I ended up doing that, and I really, really fixed my life when I got it. I stopped doing drugs. I quit drugs, and that's how I really got close to God, was him telling me what to do, and I knew that that was God for sure because of the outcome that I had got. I knew that that was Jesus talking to me. Because a lot of times, how you know it's God talking to you is if you're asking God that you want to do something, or should you do something, and you go and you actually, because sometimes it's hard to hear. Sometimes you don't know if that's God actually talking to you or not. Sometimes it can be your own mind just playing games and talking to you, or sometimes it can be the enemy, the devil. And so, how you'll know is you'll go walk out on faith and you'll go do that specific thing that you felt like God was telling you to do. There's usually only one outcome from what I realize. If the outcome comes out good on what you're trying to do, a lot of times that is God that I think that was talking to you and telling you to go do that. If things are not working out, I feel like that was not God that was talking to you. So that's the thing, is you have to be careful on if you're truly, truly hearing from God or not. So anyway, outcome came out good for me. It came out great. I met my wife that I have now. I met her down there in El Paso, Texas. That's where I got my CDL at. And she was a wonderful woman. She still is a wonderful woman. And so I met her, ended up moving up here to Missouri, and ended up driving for a company. And that's how I ended up here in Missouri now. So um, I just want to say that God is real and God is listening to you and he does hear you out. Sometimes you have to just wait and see, because sometimes there's going to be times where God is telling you to wait. There's a couple of things in my life right now that I want, that I've been praying for. It hasn't came to pass yet, but I truly, truly believe that God is telling me to wait, and that I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to grow my faith, and seeing what I'm going to do if I don't get an outcome to come out like I want. And so right now I'm in this season where I'm just waiting, and I really believe that Jesus is going to come through. I know he will. He always comes through. All the other prayers that I've prayed, a lot of the times he's came through. So, but anyway, so that's my little short testimony that I wanted to tell you guys, and I'm super excited to go ahead and start broadcasting my videos on YouTube. And um, I love you guys all, and I hope that you guys like this video. Please give me a like. Please give me a follow. Like I said, I just starting out. This is my first video. Just give me a minute, guys. I'm gonna get better at it. I know that maybe it wasn't all that good or perfect or whatever, but I believe that I will do better, and it just takes time, and that's how everything is. So anyway, guys, please like and follow this video, and I look forward to talking to you guys. If you have any questions or comments or anything, make sure you message me. Bye.